Lorraine, welcome to Turner Classic Movies.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you all. Thank you.
Before we start, I just want to know how many people here have not seen Jaws? Oh, look at that. Look at that. I don't want... Well, one spoiler. The shark did it. He's the one responsible for all the deaths in the ocean. Lorraine, where were you in your career, in your life, when you landed this role as Roy Scheider's wife?
I didn't realize that this was going to be the last film that I did. I had many years of little theater, the 99-seat rule, and the many years of guesting on television shows. And in my life, I was wonderful. I had my family, my 2 sons, who have since produced many grandchildren and great-grandchildren. And I had Sid, and that was really nice.
Your husband, Sid Sheinberg.
Yes, Sid Sheinberg.
Very powerful and influential.
No, he was hot. He was gorgeous.
He was a very handsome Jew. We all know each other. I'm sorry. That's a terrible thing to say, and I regret it immediately. The shoot was, I believe, I think I have it in my notes here, but the original, 65 days was the plan. Steven Spielberg's plan was to shoot this in, by the way, Steven would love to be here tonight, but he has to be across the street at the Francis Ford Coppola Life Achievement Award. I think everybody understands that. It was supposed to be a 65-day shoot. It went 159 days. As an actor, what are you thinking as this is going on? Like, this guy doesn't know what he's doing, or?
I was not in most of the film that caused a lot of the problems. It's not, and nobody was. I mean, it was the shark and the ocean. The ocean is a tough taskmaster. I love the ocean. I mean, I'll never say anything bad. I could say bad things about the shark, but the ocean is heaven for me, and I wish I had been there.
But you were there for much of it. You were there it's on Martha's Vineyard. The whole movie was shot on Martha's Vineyard. Everything you see in the film is a location on Martha's Vineyard. The only thing they built for the entire movie was Robert Shaw's shack. That was it. The only thing that they constructed. Everything else was there. So did you have a sense in the time that you were there, and you're in a lot of the film, I have news for you. Did you have a sense that this young director, 28 years old, had made one feature film and one really good TV movie? Did you have a sense that he knew what he was doing?
I think he was younger than 28.
Yeah, he may have been, when he got the job,
I had no sense of anything. I mean, this thing was a thrilling adventure for me. I got to stay in Martha's Vineyard, where I'd never been, and I got to work with magical people. So it was wonderful.
Who, when you think of those magical people, who are you referencing?
Well, I had a tremendous crush on Robert Shaw. Thank God we only overlapped 3 nights, and I would have been in very big trouble. Another magical person was Verna Fields, who really did she did the editing, and she was fabulous, a wonderful woman, a big heart, and extraordinary talent, and I miss her.
Did you, I read today, or maybe I'd known it before, but both in the novel and in early drafts of the script, which you may not have ever seen, there was going to be an affair between Mrs. Brody and Matt Hooper, the Richard Dreyfuss character.
Yeah, Rick, we were not deep friends, but we went to the same high school.
You went to the same high school?
Yeah, Beverly High.
My father went there too.
Oh, you're kidding?
Yeah, he's class of 1941, yeah.
And what school did you go to when you were at Columbia?
I went to yeah, that's right. You were a Columbia graduate. I went to the journalism school at Columbia. Thank you for allowing me to say that in front of you. The Columbia Graduate School of Journalism is very prestigious. Yeah, hard to get into.
I went to the School of Dramatic Arts, and then the second week I was in school, in the dorm, the date I had, he canceled because he had gotten engaged that day. And so my hair was clean, I was ready, but a friend came over and said, listen, there's a fraternity house thing that's going on. Do you want to come with me? I said, sure, my hair looks good. What else is important? And that was the most incredible thing that has happened in my life, other than my grandchildren. And it was a 2-bedroom apartment on 111th Street on Broadway.
I lived at 119th and Amsterdam.
You would?
I lived at 119th and Amsterdam when I was there.
Well,
yeah.
our first apartment was on 600 West 115.
I won't betray your address, but what I learned backstage is that Lorraine and Sid lived on the same street that my father grew up on, like 6 houses away from each other in Beverly Hills, which is stunning. So it is an enormously small world. All right, so we got Richard Dreyfuss out of the way. The actor you worked with most, of course, though, was
Had I what?
The actor you worked with most in the film was Roy Scheider, of course. What were your thoughts on Scheider?
Roy and I didn't like each other, truthfully, and he was insulting. Can
I just interrupt and say you are a fantastic guest? This is so good. Yeah.
I don't do the dishes. I don't cook. My cooking ability. I'm very old.
So I should interrupt. But so Scheider, he was insulting?
He didn't like the fact that Steven set up a shot where we were the two heads, Roy's head and my head, and Roy turned to me and he said, "Your head is so much bigger than mine." Yes, my darling husband on the screen. It wasn't my favorite. But Steven did have a secret weapon.
Which
He
was?
had several. Well, the first one was named Elmer, and he was a beautiful blonde Cocker Spaniel, and that made everything pretty wonderful. The second secret to me for Steven and his success is he's a real person. He's a human with a heart, and luckily he has the money to support all the things that are important to him. And Sid and Steven sort of fell in love with each other. They felt like brothers. They were Sid Sheinberg and Steven Spielberg, and it was the two S's that began the bond, and it lasted a very long time.
You were in Steven's 1940, Steven's film 6 years later. You were in 1941.
Yes.
Which is, which I know to a lot of people is a sort of a hidden gem. Like Steven doesn't really like it, but a lot of us do. Well, Lorraine, I'm so glad that you came here.
I am too.
Do you have overall, though, aside from Roy Scheider and Richard Dreyfuss, but the experience of Jaws is you look back on as a good one. You see it as a good experience.
Well, I did Jaws 2 and Jaws 4, and my memory, I'm 88. I'm going to be 89 in August. I mean, that's old. And I get confused about what happened with which picture. But I did love Martha's Vineyard. I was there in every season. We flew in for whatever shots had to be made. One was not a particularly fun one. I was supposed to walk into the ocean. It was January, and I was wearing boots that did not totally protect me, and they made me use a gun. And I have a very strong feeling about guns, against guns. I'm scared. I don't like touching them. I don't like looking at them. And they wanted me to be crazy and try to shoot the shark. Luckily, that was cut.
Yeah, I just want to. I don't think that was in the first Jaws.
No, not in the first Jaws.
I don't recall that. This is the first movie to ever be in 400 theaters. It's the first movie to ever make $100 million. And here we are 50 years later. Jaws still retains the exact same emotional impact that it did 50 years ago, in large part because of Lorraine Gary.
Well, no, it was Steven. What I've noticed in watching all of Steven's movies, he is absolutely brilliant in establishing relationships between the actors in a real situation, or a pretend real situation. And my favorite scene was the dining room scene where we had dinner, and he gave us such freedom. I don't know how he is as a director now, I mean, with actors, because he is a mega superstar human, and the other people are just humans, but he was great to work with. We knew him by accident. I had my second child, who is here tonight, and I won't say how old, but he's gorgeous and married to a beautiful woman. And I was going out of my mind because my first child was a little hellion. He was awful. And I hired an 8-year-old girl who lived across the street to watch my other son, John, for an hour so I could have a little rest. And at that point, the families became friendly, and this man worked at Universal and had seen Ambon, which was what we saw, Sid and I saw, when he
That's the short film that Steven made.
Right. And they were very, very close in life.
Well, you made the right call, and Sid made the right call in connecting himself with Steven. I can tell you from talking to other actors that Steven's gift with actors has not dissipated at all. He's a wonderful actor's director.
Yeah.
Lorraine, thank you so much for being here. Thank you guys for being here.
Thank you. I haven't heard that in years.